You wake up tired, even after a full night's sleep. Your mind is already running, replaying conversations, imagining scenarios, worrying about things that haven't even happened yet. It feels like your brain never truly shuts off. And no matter how much you tell yourself to just relax or stop thinking, it doesn't work. If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. Overthinking isn't just a bad habit. It's a pattern deeply wired into how your brain tries to protect you. The problem is, what once helped you survive is now quietly draining your energy, your focus, and your peace of mind. Overthinking often begins as a form of control. Your brain believes that if it can analyze every detail, predict every outcome, and prepare for every possibility, you'll be safe. It's like running a constant simulation in your head, trying to avoid mistakes, rejection, or failure. But here's the catch. Life isn't predictable. No amount of thinking can guarantee a perfect outcome. So instead of solving problems, your mind creates more of them. The cycle usually starts small. Maybe you said something slightly awkward in a conversation. Hours later, your brain replays it. Then it adds new layers. What if they misunderstood me? What if they think I'm weird? What if I ruined everything? Before you know it, a tiny moment has turned into a full-blown narrative that feels real, even though most of it is imagined. This happens because your brain doesn't clearly distinguish between real threats and imagined ones. When you overthink, your body reacts as if the danger is happening right now. Your heart rate increases. Your muscles tense. Stress hormones flood your system. And suddenly, you're not just thinking, you're feeling it deeply. That's why overthinking is so exhausting. It's not just mental, it's physical. Another reason you can't stop. Overthinking is because of something called cognitive looping. Your brain gets stuck in repetitive thought patterns, like a song on repeat. These loops are fueled by uncertainty. Humans naturally dislike uncertainty. So your mind keeps searching for answers even when there aren't any. Ironically, the more you try to force an answer, the more trapped you become. It's like trying to dig yourself out of a hole by digging deeper. You feel productive because you're thinking, but you're actually reinforcing the cycle. There's also a hidden reward system at play. Overthinking can create a false sense of productivity. It feels like you're doing something important, analyzing, planning, preparing, but in reality, you're stuck in a mental treadmill. You're moving, but not going anywhere. Social conditioning plays a role too. Many people grow up being praised for being thoughtful, careful, or responsible. Over time, this can evolve into chronic overanalysis. You start believing that thinking more equals being better. But there's a difference between thoughtful reflection and relentless rumination. And then there's fear. At its core, overthinking is driven by fear. Fear of making the wrong decision. Fear of being judged. Fear of losing control. Your mind keeps spinning because it thinks stopping would mean letting your guard down. It feels safer to stay alert, even if it's exhausting. But here's the truth. Overthinking doesn't protect you. It limits you. It steals your ability to be present. It drains your confidence. It makes simple decisions feel overwhelming. And over time, it can lead to anxiety, burnout, and a constant sense of mental noise that never fades. So, how do you break the cycle? The first step is understanding that you can't think your way out of overthinking. That might sound frustrating, but it's actually freeing. The solution isn't more thinking, it's changing your relationship with your thoughts. Instead of trying to stop your thoughts completely, start by observing them. Imagine your thoughts as clouds passing through the sky. You don't have to chase them or analyze each one. You can simply notice them and let them pass. This practice, often called mindfulness, helps create space between you and your thoughts. That space is powerful. It reminds you that you are not your thoughts. You are the observer of them. Another effective strategy is setting boundaries for your thinking. This might sound strange at first, but it works. Give yourself a specific worry window each day, maybe 10 or 15 minutes. During that time, you're allowed to think, analyze, and even worry as much as you want. But outside of that window, when your mind starts spiraling, gently remind yourself, not now. I'll think about this later. This trains your brain to stop treating every thought as urgent. Taking action is another key step. Overthinking thrives in inaction. The more you delay decisions, the more your mind fills the gap with possibilities and doubts. Even small actions can break the cycle. You don't need the perfect decision, you just need a step forward. Action creates clarity. Thinking alone does not. It's also important to challenge the accuracy of your thoughts. Overthinking often distorts reality. It magnifies negatives, assumes the worst, and ignores evidence that contradicts those fears. When you catch yourself spiraling, ask, is this thought a fact? Or is it a story I'm telling myself? Most of the time, it's a story. Your environment matters too. Constant exposure to stress, whether it's from social media, news, or toxic situations, can fuel reducing that input even slightly can calm your mind more than you expect. Sometimes your brain isn't broken, it's just overloaded. Sleep, nutrition, and physical movement also play a bigger role than people realize. A tired brain is more prone to rumination. A stressed body amplifies anxious thoughts. Taking care of your physical state creates a foundation for mental clarity. And then there's self-compassion. Many overthinkers are incredibly hard on themselves. They analyze their mistakes, criticize their decisions, and expect perfection. This inner pressure keeps the cycle alive. Learning to treat yourself with the same understanding you'd offer a friend can reduce the intensity of your thoughts. You don't need to have everything figured out. You're allowed to be uncertain. You're allowed to make mistakes. Breaking the cycle of overthinking isn't about becoming a completely different person. It's about retraining your mind to work with you, not against you. It takes time, consistency, and patience. Some days will feel easier than others. That's normal. Progress isn't measured by having zero intrusive thoughts. It's measured by how quickly you can notice them. Step back and choose not to get pulled in. Imagine what your life would feel like without constant mental noise. Conversations would feel lighter. Decisions would feel clearer. You'd have more energy for things that actually matter. That version of you already exists. It's just buried under layers of overanalysis. You don't have to eliminate thinking altogether. Thinking is valuable. It helps you learn, grow, and solve real problems. The goal is balance, knowing when to think and when to let go. Because sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is stop trying to control everything in your mind and start trusting yourself to handle whatever comes next. Overthinking tells you that you need certainty before you move forward, but life doesn't work that way. Clarity often comes after action, not before it. So the next time your mind starts racing, pause not to fight the thoughts, but to recognize them. Take a breath. Ground yourself in the present moment and remind yourself that you don't need to solve your entire life right now. One step is enough. And sometimes doing less thinking is exactly what allows you to live more fully.